What's goody, Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back. Gotta give the brand new video. I'm gonna keep it a bold, Berry Biscuit. If Scotty fit, ain't nothing else. This man is consistent. To start off day 3 of the 2021 NFL draft, this man traded down again. Now, if you're losing track of all the trades the Panthers have done, let me tell you the relevant trades to how the Panthers got pick 126 in the draft. Now, originally the team had pick number 89. Then they traded down to the Texans. So they gave up 89 in the 3rd. And they were able to get pick 109 in the 4th, 158 in the 5th, and a 2022 4th rounder. And then they went ahead and flipped 109 by trading down with the Titans. They gave up 109, and we were able to receive pick 126 in the 4th, 166, and then pick 232 as well. So we've been flipping all these picks, man. I'm telling you, Scotty Fitt did this in Seattle, or the people in Seattle did that, and now he's brought that same mentality to day 2 and day 3 kind of picks, where you go ahead and say, let me go ahead and stockpile a bunch of picks. There's going to be value, and I don't really think about these players being wide swings. There's no wide swing in value or, I guess, production that I see out of these players. So I may as well get a bunch of picks and cast a wider net, because there's going to be misses, right? There's for sure going to be misses, but I'd rather hit on 50% of 8 or 9 picks than 33% of 4 picks. You feel me? So I kind of do see where the vision is going here. Just cast a wider net and bring in them players. And this is a player that I think at 126 has high potential. With the 126th pick in the 2021 NFL draft, the Panthers selected Chuba Hubbard out of Oklahoma State, a running back, a dude that you guys should be 100% familiar with, because in 2019, the guy was a monster. 2,000 yards on the ground. Now, the guy's athletic. No one ever accused him of being the best at making decisions, because for some reason, this guy who had a borderline day 1 grade on him in 2019, I think he was 8th in the Heisman voting, around 8th or like 6th. He, for some reason, decided to go back to school and play again now as a running back. I just don't know why. I have no clue why he did it. He could have left and went to the draft and been a borderline day 1, like late day 1, easily top of day 2 draft pick. Instead, he went back to Oklahoma State and did not have nearly the kind of stats that he had in his first year there. And it's kind of a sad story where you just see guys, you saw Cardell Jones do something very similar at Ohio State. Not to the same degree, but look, these numbers from 2019 to 2020 just break your heart. He goes from 2,000 yards, almost 2,100 yards, to 625. And the receiving numbers just go down exponentially. He had 198, drops that down to 52. And it just looks bad when you go from 21 touchdowns down to 5. And it looks even worse when you only have 14 total carries in the month of November, because you were battling an ankle injury basically all year long. Chuba Hubbard is definitely a top day 2 talent who kind of dropped his own stock himself. But hey, he may have dropped his stock for himself, but he definitely has high potential for the Panthers. And at first, I wasn't really feeling this pick because, you know, the 6 foot, 210 pound running back right here, I was thinking to myself, we don't really need running back, right? We don't really need running back. We saw what happened when C-Mac got hurt last year. Mike Davis coming in was a godsend. Now, I've been seeing people talk about how this is the Mike Davis replacement. This is Mike Davis 2.0. He's going to fill in that Mike Davis role. I don't see that at all. There's almost really no real parallels between Chuba Hubbard and Mike Davis. I'll get to that here in a second, but I want to talk about the positives with Chuba Hubbard, and that's that this man has electric, explosive potential on every single play. Now, honestly, he's a kind of strictly between the tackles kind of runner, a very linear runner, but he's not afraid when he needs to bounce it outside. I think he's one of these guys who is an interior menace. Very patient with his blocking, able to see the whole form and get in there and make a play. I think he's very strong, Obviously very, very fast. Ran a 4.48 40 at his pro day. Has some very good measurables. I know there was some talk about him running in the 4.3s unofficially. I'm pretty sure it was like kind of high 4.4s. But either way, that's still very fast. That's still very fast, especially for a 6-foot running back. You usually see these guys be a little bit shorter than that, but I definitely find Chuba Hubbard to be a very good option here. Now, honestly, is he an every down back? Is he a primary back in the NFL? Not really, okay? But that works out for us because we don't need that. We don't need a primary running back. We don't need a guy who needs the ball in his hands constantly. Now, is he a tempo runner? Kind of. Honestly, he kind of is a tempo runner, but I think we can get him in our system working with C-Mac to the point where we can get a really good 1A, 1B thing working for us here, and Chuba Hubbard can be an extremely, he can be a very productive member of the team with what he's going to bring to the team. Now, what he brings to the team outside of his speed and his interior running ability and his vision and his high IQ waiting for blocks and his vision in the lane, it's not a whole lot, okay? Chuba Hubbard cannot catch. The man is one-dimensional, okay? The man is just one-dimensional. He's a running back. He runs. He runs the ball. He gets the ball, carries it, he runs the ball. You hand him the rock. You hand him the rock, and he runs. You start asking him to catch passes, things get ugly, all right? It's not just that he didn't get opportunities. The man just really is not a pass-catching threat at all. His numbers went down each season. Even in his 2,000-yard season on the ground, he only had 198 yards through the air. And that was on 23 receptions. His freshman year, he had 22 receptions with 229 yards. You feel me? And then his last season there, he had 8 receptions for 52 yards. That's an issue with the injuries, and, he opted out. He left the game. So I understand to a certain degree, not honestly, to a certain degree, why his numbers dwindled there, but he is not a pass-catching threat. And that's what makes me believe this isn't really a Mike Davis replacement. He's not a guy who can play the Mike Davis role because we saw Mike Davis was very, very good at catching the ball. And he showed in previous years when he wasn't with us, he could catch the ball. He was very good in that role. He was very strong in that role. That is not something you could go in this season expecting out of Chuba Hubbard. And honestly, we shouldn't really want or need that out of him. We got DJ, we got Robbie, we got C-Mac already, we have Terrace Marshall already. We don't need Chuba Hubbard to do that. Just keep in mind, that's not really his game. And that also makes me believe that this may not be the end of Reggie Bonnafon. Long term, yes it is. Long term, don't see him staying on the team very long. But he is a pass-catching threat, so he could still be a third down running back. He could be a guy who comes in, you bring C-Mac to the slot, you have Reggie in the backfield. So while this does kill his opportunities to get more rushing yards, I don't think it's going to really take him away from being a pass-catching threat sometimes. Another problem with Chuba Hubbard is that he's just not a good blocker. He's big, he's strong. He's just not a very capable blocker. It's noted kind of often he's not a consistent blocker. He can get moved. He will get moved. So it kind of ruins his potential to be on the field on third down unless you're handing him the ball. When I say he's one-dimensional, he's a running back, and to expect much more would be for him to show you something he has not already. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying he literally has no ability to ever catch a ball tossed to him. He might catch some, but he is not a consistent receiving threat. I'm not saying he will never, ever, ever block anyone. I'm not saying he never has blocked anyone. I'm saying to consistently put that on his plate would be using him the incorrect way. There are other players who can block significantly better than Chuba Hubbard can. To give him the role that fits him the most would be to have him run the ball and run the ball only, which could help us in goal line situations, which could help us in the red zone, which could help us in, third and inches situations. That could be a very, very important role for him to play. He is not a superstar player on this team. He's going to be a very strong, very popular role player, and that is just fine. That is just fine. Chuba Hubbard, I give this a B. I give it a B. I like Chuba. I don't know why we picked him. Actually, this is a B minus. This is a B minus for me. I'm not sure why I picked him. We have Reggie Bonifant still. I mean, there's even some other guys further down the depth chart. I like Chuba Hubbard as a player. I'm not quite so sure we needed to go ahead and another elite athlete, but I don't know how big the need was for a backup running back, and backup running backs are a dime a dozen in the draft. You can find these dudes literally anywhere. If you don't need them to start, you can find backup running backs anywhere and everywhere, and we have a team full of backup running backs, right? We got plenty of backup running backs. Even Trenton Cannon looked all right when he came in. So it's not about Chuba Hubbard, but it's 4 years of backup running back play. That's cool with me. B minus for me, only because Reggie Bonifant and Trenton Cannon are both right there on the roster. So it is what it is. I like the pick. B minus. So once again, Chuba Hubbard, welcome to Carolina, my brother. What do y'all guys think, man? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Where does this leave Reggie Bonifant, Trenton Cannon, some of these other dudes on the back end of the running back room, the running back core? How do you feel about this pick? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And you already know to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.